Mickey Mouse, Disney's iconic mascot, has appeared in multiple animation adventures through the decades, as a universal face across the planet due to Disney's far-reaching media. But one thing that has always been lacking in recent times was his own series that followed some of the same slapstick humor or originality of his older ventures. Its Warner Brothers counterpart Looney Tunes has always found a way to fit its characters in newer series for each generation to enjoy. We had only really seen Mickey in cameos in other Disney movies or in his Disney Junior shows. But something changed in 2013, the beginning of the Mickey Mouse short series that premiered on Disney Channel that followed Mickey and his friends traveling around the world in different adventures, depicting the cultures of each country they would visit and partaking in their customs, that made some episodes have little to no English voice acting, instead using the language of the place they're in. That didn't solely target 4-year-olds, but people of all ages to enjoy. Eventually, with more seasons of the show began to evolve, including more original Mickey Mouse characters, and really embracing the slapstick comedy. That made me excited for each new episode and seeing what new shenanigans the crew can get themselves into this time. They even made Christmas and Halloween specials that excellently captures the spirit and traditions of their respective holidays. That elevate the depth of the characters in the show, Disney could do more for the character and franchise than just as a marketing tool for theme parks. But in 2018, the show ended with complete silence if it would ever come back, leaving me worrying we would never see more from the series. Eventually in 2020, we saw a trailer for the return of the infamous character, titled The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, which will be a sequel series to the Mickey Mouse shorts, exclusive to Disney+. One thing that differentiates from the previous series is having longer format episodes, ranging around 8 minutes instead of the shorts formula. The trailer showed less of traveling around the world to different countries, but more of the wacky lives of Mickey and his friends. That got me excited to see the characters return to be explored in longer and more in-depth adventures. We saw the first 2 episodes released on November 18, 2020, with 2 episodes releasing every week until it reached the 20th episode. The batch formula, in my opinion, was a great idea, so you don't blow through each episode in a day, compared to how some shows are released all at once on streaming services. The animation quality has improved even further from the previous show, which still had top-notch animation. All the characters are very expressive and the world feels vibrant and colorful, just using a simplistic art style that can excellently capture the slapstick humor. The jokes and actions are executed phenomenally in the show, which has jokes that actually make me laugh and chuckle, that doesn't feed into too much of the new style of comedy seen in modern cartoons, which truly separates it from other shows. The episode Supermarket Scramble, for instance, has Mickey and his friends need to have to find food at the grocery store for a barbecue they have planned on a whim. That turns into utter chaos, with everyone scrambling around the store trying to find their items that show all the slapstick comedy you can pull off at a grocery store with the Mickey Mouse characters. And of course, the voice actors are amazing at bringing the characters to life, especially Mickey's voice actor. I couldn't imagine anyone else voicing these characters after watching this show. Focusing on some of the characters of the show, Mickey is very over the top and upbeat and always looking out for his friends. Minnie, who shares a lot of the same characteristics, has a more controlling, easily frightened side to her that leads her to take charge of her and Mickey's relationship. Donald has a very selfish and cowardly attitude that ends up getting him in more trouble, who isn't always on board with Mickey's plans. Daisy is self-centered and rude, only really caring about her self-interest, while dealing with the annoyance of Donald's shenanigans, but is somewhat of a good friend to Minnie. And finally, Goofy, who is probably one of my least favorite iterations of this character. Don't get me wrong, he has plenty of funny moments, but he's depicted as being extremely dumb and lazy, heavily relying on his friend's help, only if he had a son that could help motivate him. The episode Just For Us shows the dynamic of the differing personalities of the characters excellently. Donald and Daisy try to avoid a date night with Mickey and Minnie due to their over-the-top actions compared to Donald and Daisy being low-key. So Donald tells Mickey they can't make it because they're sick, but Daisy tells him he made it worse because the mouse couple will come take care of them anyway and never leave them alone. They instantly pull up to their house, something out of a scary movie, so the ducks pretend that they're not home and try to avoid them by any means possible. That creates a thriller episode of Mickey and Minnie trying to find the ducks in their own home, making them even have to escape into the dark, rainy woods, trying to avoid the mouses, that consequently makes them all sick in the end, being in the hospital together. The cameos and Easter eggs in this show are insane, with the inclusion of legacy Disney characters, not just from the Mickey Mouse universe, but old and new characters across all of Disney. Not just being in the background, but intertwined in the story. For instance, the episode Keep It Rollin' has Mickey and crew at a disco skating rink, until they are interrupted by Pete and his roller derby team of the Beetle Boys and Ursula, who is voiced by her original voice actress, who delivers a stellar performance, adding to the quality of this good episode. A better example would be Once Upon an Apple, which has to be one of my favorite episodes as a central focus on the evil queen from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, trying to poison Mickey that hilariously backfires on her every time in this Tom and Jerry-esque sequence, with Mickey being completely unaware, thinking the evil queen is his friend. But at the end of the episode, Mickey ends up helping the evil queen resolve her insecurities. The characters don't even feel out of place in their different animation styles or universe, or how the characters are portrayed from their source material. That is something the media rarely executes, pointing towards the brilliance of the show. After the first season ended, I assumed to expect the usual second season you see of a lot of Disney Plus shows, but they changed it up again by having seasonal specials, starting with the release of Wonderful Winter of Mickey Mouse in February of 2022. That follows 3 stories centered around snow. The first one has Mickey working at a snowflake factory. The second involves the trio of Mickey, Donald, and Goofy stuck in a cabin due to a winter storm and must find a way to escape so they don't freeze to death, with the third depicting Mickey and Minnie as ice skaters. In the spring special, we follow another 3 stories, the first one being the odd one depicting the crew as plants and Goofy as the caterpillar, trying to get sunlight. The second having Mickey and Minnie grow plants in their yard that turns terribly wrong, and the third story being one of my favorite from the seasonal specials. Having Minnie try to help Mickey clean up his place for spring cleaning, but he can't spare to throw away any of his items, that happen to be legacy Disney items from his past, causing comedic interaction between the two, especially having a cameo of Sora's Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts video game series, something I would never expect to see. For summer, we only got one story at the lead up to the disaster of the Summer Fireworks Spectacular. We see each point of view from the group as they recount their day. The last one, Autumn, finally released on November 18th, sees Mickey traveling to a Halloween town to inherit his old family's pumpkin farm. The town not being so fond of the Mouse family, even mocking Mickey, so he hopes to rectify it, which leads to a bigger problem. One thing that I noticed was it only had a lot of Sleepy Hollow Easter eggs, I guess to feed into the spooky season. After the last seasonal special, I truly don't know the future of the wonderful world of Mickey Mouse. We haven't heard any news revolving around the status of the series, if we would see a possible second season at all. If there happens to be some sort of continuation, I'd like to see them explore more of the DuckTales and Goof Troop world / characters in the future episodes. And if they do any more specials, have it be a 30-minute long, plot-centric story. Overall, I have to say this is one of my favorite reboots when it comes to a show featuring an old classic character, especially one as iconic as Mickey Mouse, that delivers on all points when it comes to being extremely entertaining. I really hope they continue creating more adventures for my favorite incarnation of the Mickey Mouse character.